Today I'm excited to introduce to you Garrett Billhofer, an extremely interesting individual. College is a great place to meet new people and start new relationships that will last the rest of your life. I recently spent time getting to know Garrett and understanding what makes him unique. Garrett Billhofer is unique because of the location he grew up in, his passions outside of school, and his participation in sports. I'll start off by telling you guys a little bit about where Garrett grew up. Garrett was born in San Diego, and at the age of 4, he moved to Clovis, a town just outside of Fresno. In Clovis, he grew up on a 2-acre piece of land in the country. He lived with his brother, who was 3 years older than him, and his mother and father. His mother was in sales, and his father was a mechanical engineer. His family owned 2 horses and a dog that he grew up riding. Well, he actually just rode the horses, not the dog. Moving right along, secondly, I want to tell you about the passions Garrett pursued outside of high school. One of Garrett's first passions came at the age of 8 when he started playing the piano. His passion drove him to take 6 years of lessons to become a proficient player. He still plays to this day and can impress almost anyone with his amazing skills. In addition, starting sophomore year in high school, Garrett developed his most recent passion, the stock market. Garrett became fascinated by stocks because he feels that you get to build your own opportunity. As he became more proficient, stocks became a better way of managing his money than letting it just sit in the bank. He lives by the quote, "Have your money work for you instead of you working for your money." That brings us to the last thing I want to talk about. Finally, I want to briefly tell you guys about Garrett's sports life. Garrett's majority of after-school hours were spent playing volleyball. He played on his high school's varsity team all 4 years of high school. He was named varsity team captain and most valuable player all 4 years, which is no small accomplishment. He was inspired to be the best player, and he went out and did it. He was recruited by UC San Diego to play volleyball, but made the right decision to come to Cal Poly instead. In conclusion, we see that Garrett is individually unique because of the location he grew up in, the passions developed outside of high school, and his participation in sports. I had a fun time getting to know Garrett, and I hope all of you guys take the time as well.
Okay. How did it go?
All right, hopefully.
All right. Tell me what was all right about it. I wrote Garrett's name on the gave the speech. I'm like, that wasn't Garrett. That was Sean. Okay. So, first of all, Sean, kudos for seeing your name first on the list on the first day and not being sick today. I appreciate you, your willingness to be here and be ready to go to give your speech. So thank you for that. Tell me, how did you feel about the speech, based on what you did?
I think I'm happy that I stayed on structure and I didn't go off, but I think I could have memorized my lines a little bit better.
Okay. What is it that you want to work on this quarter?
Confidence in speaking and actually making the tone of my voice sound different when I mean different things.
Okay. Anything else?
Research.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are good. Garrett, how do you do?
You did well.
Okay. Do you feel like you're well represented?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, I was kind of just during our interview process, just answering all these questions, made it easy on me. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Right on. All right. Audience, if you could give feedback to Sean.
I have feedback. I really liked that you didn't stutter very much or at all. I don't really remember any parts where you got caught up. You seemed to do everything just I guess you were doing it well. I don't know.
Thank you.
It was really easy to know where you were at in the speech.
I liked your volume because there was a big truck that came by and was so furious. Can I close the door?
Yes, please. I was actually going to ask you.
I think you spoke really well. I don't think I ever heard you say or or anything. I would say probably the only thing that distracted me was because you were squeezing the thing so hard it was squeaking. But other than that, you did really well.
Teammates?
your structure was really good. It was clear when you were moving from your introduction to the first topic on where Garrett was like kind of grew up to what his hobbies were. You flowed well in between those.
I really liked your delivery throughout your whole speech, and we could hear you volume-wise from the structure. I especially liked your hook. It had me pondering before you said Garrett, and I thought that was really good.
So I was sorry to say. I think you did good. You had good transitions. It all just kind of flowed well. So, yeah, good job.
Sean, first of all, I would have to say thank you for having a really nice, clear structure. It was easy to identify what you were going to be talking about and telling us, and then you laid that out in the body of your speech pretty nicely. I thought you had some good detail with regards to information about Garrett. I might have, maybe, one thing I would be attentive to or think about is how you finish off a main idea. Because sometimes it felt like it was, it felt like it needed one more sort of closing, a sense of closure to the idea before you moved on. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right. So that would be one little minor thing. But I like the language that you used. I think you gave us nice detail. Maybe include he's been playing for 8 years. Maybe is there a favorite piece that he he accomplished something? Maybe something like that. Throw in that little extra added detail. Not necessary, but a way to sort of enrich it just a bit. I would say it was apparent that you had practiced. You knew where your speech was going. I would say be careful with how you practice so it doesn't become memorized. Because then it begins to sound like you're reading an essay versus then giving a speech. So sort of ensuring that you have that conversational quality. One of the ways that you can do it is take that full sentence outline, practice it a few times, and then put it away. And don't worry about memorizing what you have on it verbatim. You know the ideas and the order in which you want to give them, and then just begin to start practicing your speech that way. It allows for it to sound a little fresh every time that you say it, but you're sort of reinforcing where your ideas are going and how you want to lay them out. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that'll actually add some vocal texture because you won't feel so stuck on the page. Okay. But in terms of your pacing, I thought your pacing was good. I think that was fine. Be careful of the swaying back and forth. Yeah. And another suggestion that I have with regards to eye contact: look down, stay silent, come back to the audience, and talk to us. Okay? Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.